People always ask me, how do I get a skilled visa to Australia? And it's actually simpler than you think. I'm going to give you a 2-minute overview of the process to hopefully give you a better understanding. Look, essentially, to get a visa to Australia, or a permanent skilled visa to Australia, we're not talking partner, we're not talking family, etc. There are 2 ways that you can do it, okay? We've got general skilled migration and we've got employer sponsorship, okay? So employer sponsorship is exactly what it sounds like. It's where you get an employer, they sponsor your visa. General skilled migration is basically where instead of getting sponsored by a company, you can be invited by federal immigration or a state migration authority. So with general skilled migration, you can be invited by federal immigration for the 189 or a state or territory for the 190 or 491. So you can't just apply for these visas through your IMI account. Essentially, you need to basically request an invitation from immigration. So you go, hey, immigration, this is me, this is my occupation. I want to be invited for the 189, the 190, 491, and you get attributed different points for things like your age, education, work experience, English ability. The states and territories then do invitation rounds where you can be invited for these visas. So what's the catch? The catch is they're quite difficult to get, and quite often the invitations received are for select occupations only. So for example, we had about 40 invitations for the 189 round. I think about 35 of those were in trade occupations, probably about 30 in carpentry, okay? So it's very concentrated on specifically who immigration wants to invite. Employer sponsorship is actually a little different, okay? So with employer sponsorship, we've got permanent employer sponsorship straight away through the 186 direct, or you can initially get the temporary employer sponsorship, the 482, and transition to the permanent 186, okay? Now, in order to apply for these visas, you need to have an employer nominate you for a related or relevant occupation that's on the core skills list. For the permanent visa, you need 3 years full-time work experience. For the temporary visa, you only need 1 year of full-time work experience. You also need to have an employer to pay you the Australian market salary, minimum $76,515. I hope you found that information helpful. Obviously, there's a lot more that goes into it, but we've got a lot more detailed videos on our YouTube page, or feel free to book in for a consultation through our website, chat with one of our migration agents to better know your circumstances. Thanks.